Greetings, mortals, and welcome. I am Auridormi, Chronicler of the Bronze Dragonflight, and today we are going to be exploring the rich, expansive story of Azeroth. Why? It's simple, really. To understand Azeroth and your place in it, you have to go back to the beginning. So we're going to go back, way back to an empire built on magic, to a barely sensed threat, and to a woman, a light that would bring a great darkness to Azeroth. 10,250 years ago, Azeroth has been at relative peace since the founding of the Kaldore, and the current leader of the Night Elves and Highborn is Queen Azshara, the Light of Lights. She was raised up, powerful, beautiful, and she believed that only the most powerful of beings was worth her hand in marriage. So when the overuse of magic, it was almost as if they could not cross a room without casting a spell, drew the attention of the Dark Titan. He saw in Azshara's pride and the massive, magical, Titan-created font of power she commanded a gateway for his return to the physical plane. It was so that the Dark Titan contacted Azshara and engendered her agreement to help him. And thus begins the War of the Ancients. This war saw an uneasy alliance between the non-highborn Kaldore, including the brothers Stormrage, Tyrande Whisperwind, and Jared and Maya of Shadowsong, and the Tauren, nomadic hunters and gatherers from the Plainslands to the south, the Earthen, and the Furbolgs, who all fought alongside the Ancients, Cenarius, Aviana, Goldrin, Agamagan, Aesina, and Malorn. Alongside them fought a strange trio, sent back in time to ensure success. Coriel Straz, known as Crassus, Ronin of the Kirin Tor, and Broxagar, an old orc and powerful fighter. The Dragonflights, great guardians of Azeroth, were involved as well. Neltharion, the Earth Warder, had by this time started falling under the whispered, insidious influence of the old gods trapped deep within the dark places of the world. Neltharion, feigning sense, convinced the leaders of the other Dragonflights to imbue an item of his creation, the Dragon Soul, with a part of their power. This featureless disc, he told them, would allow them to drive the Burning Legion from Azeroth. What he didn't tell them, however, was that the Dragon Soul would allow Neltharion to control the other Dragonflights. It worked, but at great cost. Malygos, master of the Blue Dragonflight, lost a great many of his children. Only his mate, Sindragosa, and a clutch of eggs rescued by Alexstrasza in the coming years were spared the devastation, though Sindragosa was flung far to the north, eventually succumbing to her wounds in what became the frozen wastelands of Icecrown. The Dragon Soul, now being called the Demon Soul, had finished what the old gods had started. Neltharion was driven mad, his body tearing itself apart, seething with corruption. Ultimately, he was defeated, and the mighty Earth Warder took on a new name, Deathwing, Destroyer of Worlds. He fled, taking his precious demon soul with him, back to the deep places of the earth to lick his wounds and plan his next attack. But Azshara would not be denied. With Deathwing's defeat, the remaining Dragonflights began dealing with the demons pouring ever forth from the Well of Eternity. Azshara, along with her Highborn, began the ritual that would bring Sargeras forth from his banishment. The defenders had little choice. To stop the ritual, they would need to get past her defenses and kill the Light of Lights. Malfurion Stormrage and Tyrande Whisperwind led the assault on the Queen's palace. But while his brother was occupied, crafty Illidan steals into the palace himself, and there uses 3 specially crafted vials to take water from the Well of Eternity. Despite the Queen's best efforts, her plan was thwarted. The orc, Broxigar, sacrifices his life to close the portal, and with the aid of the remaining dragonflights, Sargeras is prevented from entering Azeroth. However, the massive amount of magic used to close the portal, as well as the portal's destruction, rips Kalendor asunder. The Queen desperately tries to save herself and her highborn subjects, but ultimately cannot, and Zin and Shari is sunk into the sea. But the old gods had other plans for her and her highborn, transforming them into the Serpentine Naga, and they would come to inhabit the underwater city of Nazjatar, and Azshara has been plotting her revenge ever since. The face of Azeroth was forever changed. The land was sundered. Kalendor, the perfect land, was broken for eternity. The empire of the Kalduray was shattered like their ancient forest home, and magic, as they knew it, was all but gone. The fount, the Well of Eternity, had been destroyed, turned into the writhing maelstrom. But still, some had other plans. After the destruction, Illidan Stormrage trekked with his 3 vials intact to Mount Hyjal. At the top of the mountain was crystalline pool, and into this pool Illidan poured 2 of the 3 vials. The magic took hold, and the well was reborn, but it was not to last. Malfurion had gotten wind of Illidan's plan, but arrived too late. He prevented Illidan from adding the 3rd vial to the pool. No one was eager to see the return of the Well of Eternity. So when Alexstrasza, the Lifebinder, appeared with an acorn from the recently fallen Gahanir, the Mother Tree, home of Aviana, Malfurion was relieved. From this acorn grew the mighty tree Nordrassil, crown of the heavens in the Kalduray tongue, and the lords of the Dragonflights blessed it and its guardians. It was given life by Alexstrasza. It was made eternal by Nizdormu, who also blessed the Kalduray with eternal life, so long as Nordrassil stood, ensuring even the corrupted elves would protect it. Ysera blessed the Kalduray with the ability to enter the Emerald Dream. Druidism became the only magic practiced by the Kalduray, as arcane magic became banned, much to the chagrin of Illidan and the few remaining. With Nordrassil firmly in place, Azeroth is at peace once again. 2,700 years after the Sundering, the Pandaren Emperor, Xiaohao, undergoes his trials and envelops the newly formed continent of Pandaria in mist. But that is a story for another time.